Meeting to order. And we'll ask our Madam City Clerk for a roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor John Herbedian.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem John Kaposha.
Here.
Councilmember Rochelle Arzmende.
She is absent.
Okay. Councilmember Denise Delmar.
Here.
Councilmember Jean Gosh.
Here.
And Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum and may conduct city business.
Great. Thank you very much. And Mayor Pro Tem is going to lead us in the pledge and inspiration.
Okay. Everybody, please stand. Place your right hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just ask you to remain standing for a minute. As you all know, tomorrow is September 11th, and this is the 18th anniversary of that terrorist attack that greatly affected our nation. And, 3,000 people died in that attack, and including, I think, about 400 first responders. And since then, 450 first responders have perished as a result of the illnesses that they contracted in exposure to the toxic chemicals of that. So I just a reminder that at 6:45 tomorrow, our fire department does have a little ceremony in front of our fire station, and I hope everybody can take the time to attend and just remember this event. So I'd just like you all to just let's just have a moment of silence in remembrance of those people and their families that were greatly affected by this, and just say a little prayer in your mind for our country and for those people. Okay, thank you very much. You can be seated.
I'll ask for a motion on the agenda.
I'll move to approve.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Madam City Attorney, report from closed session.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The council met in closed session this evening with legal counsel to briefly review a matter of anticipated or potential litigation. Direction was provided to the city attorney, but no action was taken. The council also met in closed session with its real property negotiator to review a proposal. The city is in negotiation with the owners of the monastery property to purchase the property for use as open space. And that is the end of my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I should say that no action was taken in closed session regarding the real property negotiations.
Great. Thank you. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes from July 23rd? Any changes?
Nope.
I'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we'll go to Mayor and City Council reports. It's been a while since we've been here.
I have no report.
Okay.
Nothing from me.
Okay, I have a couple of things. Number one, I would just like to acknowledge that our mayor is running for county supervisor, and he's probably mad at me for saying this, but I just want to say that he's done such a great job here. I think it's refreshing, and I think it takes a lot of courage for him to do this. It's not easy to run for an office like that, but I see him as a future leader that will benefit all of us. And I'm really proud of him for taking this action. So I hope you all feel the same way, and I'd just like you to all get the word out and actually make donations to his campaign. LA County is 20 million people, and he's not going to be able to win without help from everybody here. So I just want to encourage you all, and I think we'll all be well served if he is able to win that election. So that being said, I do want to report out from a water committee meeting for the San Gabriel County COG, and we had a great presentation by Richard Watson of the Watson Law Firm, where what a novel idea that he is proposing to study sources of bacteria that is polluting our waterways. And right now, the conditions of our permit that's in place is we get fined for these occurrences of bacteria. We don't know where they're coming from, and we don't know what to do about it, but we can get fined. But what a novel idea to study the root cause of the problem and try to address it. So I was just really thrilled about this. It's not going to be cheap, but we do have the Measure W money that's available for studies, so he's got a push going to try to get consensus from everybody to use some of this money to study the problem before we start throwing money at solutions that we may not even understand. So that being said, also I think it's just important to report out that the metropolitan or the Upper San Gabriel Water District has been purchasing surplus water from the California State Water Project. And if you've ever driven by the 605 freeway, you can see the water rising up in the pit there. Yeah, it's pretty impressive how the water level's coming up. So Metropolitan Water District, their reserves are at an all-time high of water that they have reserved. And there's a good reason for this, is because the water experts are really scared that we're going to need that water. So with this message that our water agencies have been doing a lot of work to increase our reserves, there is still an incredible need to conserve. So the rainfall that we've had in Southern California, our natural source of water, is still about 20% below its 20-year history. So I just want to keep that message out there that conservation of water is still important, even though we're doing a lot of work to increase the reserves. So thank you for listening.
Councilman Delmar?
I don't have anything, but I would like to point out that I really like the new chairs that we have here in chambers.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
Absolutely. Well done on that. And I'll just add a few things quickly. I don't see Deb Sheridan or anyone else oh, you are going to, okay, good. So you will be talking about that, so I don't need to address that. There is an event that's going to be hosted by Corfu Restaurant on November 2nd at 5 p.m. at the Sierra Madre Women's Club. It's called Jazz Under the Stars. And there's tickets for sale, and some of the proceeds will be going to the Sierra Madre police departments and fire departments. So I think this would be a nice event, and considering where proceeds are going, I think it would be nice for the community to come out. And I think someone will be talking about the Friends of Library wine tasting event, so I won't go over that. One other note about the Clean Power Alliance: you will be seeing in your next bill a reduction in your rates once again, which is good. And the reason for that is, as you all, I think, know by now, we set our rates based on Southern California Edison's rates. And so Southern California Edison went through a rate change, and we have now lowered our rates even lower than Edison's while delivering cleaner energy. So good news on both fronts, and you'll probably see you might not even have noticed probably in your bill unless I told you, but your rates will be going down. And that's all I have. So it's good to be back after August being dark, and thank you for your comments. I am embarrassed, but thank you. Now we will go on to a presentation, which I think we're all really proud to make tonight. And for most people, they probably don't know yet, our Sierra Madre Fire Department, which when all of us joined the city council, was still a all-volunteer fire department for the most part, and historically had always been a volunteer fire department, has recently unionized and become an official local of the International Association of Firefighters, and they are now Sierra Madre Local 5126. And I'm getting it 5216. I mixed up. That makes a big difference. 5216, and it's a real historic moment in the city's history on a lot of different levels. Obviously, on the public safety level, but this doesn't happen very often. In a time when you have a lot of cities and agencies and counties going the other direction, regionalizing operations, outsourcing operations, the fact that we here in Sierra Madre were able to maintain our own department, and not only maintain it as is, but actually solidify it as a full-time department, and then the folks within the department, the men and women in the department who are here today, to take the step to unionize is really a special moment. And so we are actually honored today to host some guests who are here to recognize this achievement. And one of them is Mr. Frank Lima, who is the Division Vice President for the International Association of Firefighters, Division 10. And Frank's a local man, local boy here. He grew up in San Gabriel Valley. He actually went to St. Francis, and the Loyola Cubs up here don't hold it against him too much. But he is a longtime City of LA firefighter, and he is going to come up here in just a second. We also have Dominic Bay, who's the president of the Santa Monica Firefighter local, and he actually grew up in San Francisco and is a Giants fan. So that isn't as nearly as cool as Frank Lima, who's a Dodgers fan. And we have Daryl Roberts from Chula Vista, local 2180, who's the president of that local, who's joined us here as well. And as you can tell, we're having, presidents of not only locals, but of the International Association of Firefighters. And Frank oversees, California, Hawaii, Guam, Arizona, probably a couple other states that I'm forgetting. So this is a big deal that he's here. So I'm going to call Frank up, if you can, and then we'll hear from our president, Captain Bartlett, as well. So, Frank?
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Honorable Council, City Manager, City Attorney. Appreciate being here. It is a good night. It's a good day. When you so eloquently put it, Mr. Mayor, that in a time of heavy privatization, and since World War II, one out of three households held a union card. Today, especially in the private sector, it's about 1 out of every 13. There are basic values that go along with collective bargaining where everybody wins, and especially in a situation with the resurgent union of an IAFF where we're increasing membership, but it's a win-win operation here. We have a grant department that we could assure you that will help this city bring back hundreds of thousands of dollars in staffing and apparatus costs and breathing apparatus, any type of equipment that you could be, and this IAFF will be there for you in the city. We have members that will be working under a collective bargaining agreement for the first time. Something that, without a doubt, undisputed fact, provides a safer service to the community, provides a better living wage to our members, and much more safer environment for our members to work in and for the community that we serve. So once again, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and this council. It's an honor to be here with our firefighters and local 5216. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll ask the president of Local 5216 to come up. And I know that there is a special recognition that that Mr. Lima and Mr. Bartlett we can probably have a photo opportunity with just them and our friends from Santa Monica and Chula Vista as well. And the council can come up there after the presentation as well to do a photo.
As the president of our newly established local, 5216, first of all, I'd like to extend a very gracious gratitude to you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and City Council, and City Manager and staff. This isn't normal for folks that are looking to come into collective bargaining and unionization to get the support that we have. We appreciate that, and we look forward to the future. Our strive is to obviously provide the best service that we can to the community. We have members here that still live in the community and have been part of this fire department since its volunteer days. And we hold strong and true to the core values and the beliefs of back then, as we also recognize the need for the future. So we're very excited for the future, and we commit wholeheartedly to delivering the best quality service that we can to our community. And again, we're just happy that we have the foundation that it appears that we're going to have in moving forward. So thank you for that, and we look forward to the teamwork that the camaraderie that we're going to build. So we appreciate that. And we also want to thank IFF for their support and going to the future. I think it's going to benefit the community as well from the backing that we have. Obviously, as you guys know, they're a huge organization that has many members that will be able to help us, as Frank mentioned previously, and maybe helping us getting funding, getting grants, getting whatever the case is that's going to help out the community. So we're excited.
Excellent.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Lima, it's a beautiful scroll. You guys want to tell us what that is, and then we can take a photo with it.
Well, what this is, it documents, it's from the IAFF, which is a labor organization under the Department of Labor that's founded in 1918. We're on our 101st year. And it basically just documents, it assigns a number. Local 1 is out of Pittsburgh. Local 2 is out of Chicago. Los Angeles City is local 112, so it goes numerically. So one of the most recent locals we're at now is local 5216, so 5,200 locals across the United States and Canada. And what it does is it has charter members. So our past president, Gregory Christmas, Brent Bartlett, it has the charter members there to be memorialized forever who helped organize. It has a signature from our general president, the seal, and something to proudly display for both the members and the city.
It's really impressive. And you guys should have a photo, and then the entire membership that's here should come up for a photo with it, and then we as a council can join. So congratulations. Yeah, we can come up now if you want, or do you guys want? Okay, we'll go up there. Good job. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Yes. Yeah, please. Yeah, we know yours.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is. One last parting moment.
Mr. Mayor, if I have essentially like a point of personal privilege,
Sure.
I may. As we took this picture celebrating this history, I'd be remiss to not mention Gary Hood, who is a longtime resident of the city of Sierra Madre, is a Los Angeles City still active fire captain of 28 years. I worked with Brother Hood in Tujunga, mid-90s probably. And Brother Hood brought something to the fire service that we don't know how many lives he saved. It's when we turn on our air bottles and go into an incident that's dangerous to life and health, sometimes our members go down, whether it be from a heart attack or a beam crushing their head. collapsing on their legs. They can't get out. They can't move. We have a motion detector, and it goes into full alarm after 30 seconds without moving, and that enables us to hear a tone, which has, you go towards the sound and you pull a firefighter out. So Brother Hood was the original inventor of that, what we used to call PASS device, PAL device, personal alert system. And since he's a resident of Sierra Madre, he's been very supportive of this unionization of these firefighters. You just have a great community here. And like you said, the St. Francis thing, I had a lot of friends here. I'd always come up here and go swimming in between practices and things like that.
Yeah.
Always a great place to live, but you have incredible residents like Brother Hood. So thanks
Thank
again
you.
to this council and everybody involved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Well, that's great. Yeah, congratulations to everyone, and we're not going to make you stay for the rest of the city council meeting.
Yes,
So
we
that's
are.
going to be that's going to be your biggest gift. We'll take a pause if you guys want to go out and take pictures or do whatever you need to do. But thank you guys very much for coming, and we'll see you soon. And gentlemen, same thing. Ladies, you can exit while we're moving on to the next thing. So, thanks, guys.
Thanks again.
Okay. And while they're doing that, we can open this up for public comment on items not on the agenda.
I'm Pat Alcorn, and I'm here to remind everybody that the Friends of the Sierra Madre Library is having a harvest festival. We normally just call it a wine and cuisine tasting, but we're going to have something different this year. It's going to be really special, so I hope you all get your tickets. And yes, thank you, City Council and City Manager for your support. Premier event, which is always sold out, is still at $80 a piece, and the main event is $60 a piece. So you can get your tickets at Sierra Madre Library, the Bottle Shop, Savor the Flavor, Frontier Hardware, and Sierra Madre Friends .org, and that would be online. So.
Great.
Everybody, I hope, in the audience will get their tickets, and we'll see you on the September 27th.
Excellent.
Thank you.
We'll be there.
Forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Pat.
Well, the week before, Judy Webb Martin, you can come and have a pancake breakfast that Kiwanis is putting on. On the 21st, it's 7 to 11 at Memorial Park, just over here. And it's $6. And we'd love to have everyone here come and enjoy our wonderful pancakes and sausage and coffee and orange juice, etc. And we have the wonderful Builders Club coming and helping as usual too. They get a kick out of it as well. And anyway, inviting the whole town. Love to have you there. You can buy your tickets there when you come Saturday morning on the 21st. That's a week from this Saturday. At 7 to 11 a.m.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you, Judy. We'll be there. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Karen Rowinski, and I'm a resident of Sierra Madre, and I'm actually here to read something from Deb Sheridan, who is also a resident. She couldn't be here tonight. So, good evening, Mayor and council members. When you took the oath of office, you swore to protect the citizens of Sierra Madre, as I had done when sworn in, Deb had done, when sworn in as a deputy city clerk several years ago. I'm just going to pretend like I'm her because she wrote this. So, I'm here this evening to speak to you about the epidemic of gun violence in our country. 42,000 people a year are killed because of guns of some sort. We can no longer think that we are immune from a random act of violence. I'm not here to debate the issue of gun legislation. What I'm here to do is to inform you and the residents of Sierra Madre about a law that was passed in California in 2016 called the Gun Violence Restraining Order, sometimes called the Red Flag Law. Not our fire danger red flag. but another type of red flag danger. This law allows family members, household members, as well as law enforcement to work with the courts to temporarily remove any guns and prevent the purchase of new guns by individuals who pose a significant risk to harm themselves or others. There is a website, speakforsafety.org. This website gives information on how to get a temporary restraining order, which, when implemented, will allow the county sheriff to remove the respondent's firearms for 21 days. I heard on NPR about a U.S. veteran who had served in Afghanistan and was going to take his weapon to the demonstration in Portland a few months ago just to scare the other side. His firearms were taken away. He got counseling, and he was grateful that someone who cared had intervened before he could shoot anyone. What I'm asking the city council and city manager to do is spread the word about this law, possibly on the Sierra Madre website and in the Village View newsletter. You might also ask Acting Police Chief Jim Hunt to speak briefly about this important issue. Thank you for keeping us safe. It can happen here, and this website will help us plan how we can prevent that at speakforsafety.org.
Thank you. Any other comments?
John Hiller here, 39 North Lima Street, Department D. I was here about talking about Baha'i, the newest religion, and I wanted to bring someone else from the community, Steve Licata, to talk about the Baha'is.
Yeah, hi, my name is Steve Licata. I live just down the street near the corner of Sierra Madre and Santa Anita, technically in Arcadia. But my wife is here with us, and we've raised 2 kids, and we spend all of our leisure time in Sierra Madre. We love this neighborhood. The reason that John invited me to come along is that we want folks to know that the Baha'i faith, that's B-A-H-A-I, it's been around for about 150 years, and we are very comfortable with people of all faiths and very active in the interfaith community, interfaith activities. For many years, we actually rented out the Sierra Madre Women's Club for our Sunday school, open to everyone. What we want folks to know about is that we are a resource in the community. Just as we're so excited about having the fire department, there's another part of the community that takes importance, and that is the people, namely the children, young people, middle school. The Baha'i community offers free services called character development classes for youngest children. My wife works with a local private business and offers those free classes on Sunday mornings. My own son, who's a junior at Northridge, gives a program at the Arcadia Library for middle school kids. And the trick is to make young people aware of their surroundings. That is to say, do you know who lives in your neighborhood? Are you aware of the older lady down the street who's a shut-in, who needs help? Are you aware, sometimes we talk about young people and say, let's give them something to do, but we never ask the young people, why don't you learn to perceive the reality around you, and you, the young people, decide what you need in your community, whether it's bullying, whether it's problems of prejudice, whether it's misunderstandings. And we adults encourage the development of the character and the perception of our children and our middle schoolers so that they can perceive and become servants of the community and grow their own capacity rather than waiting for someone else to tell them what to do. John here has a book, for those of you probably familiar with the Baha'i faith, but we have a book that we'll leave with the council here. Just want to let you know that in Arcadia, we have about 30 or 35 people. Pasadena has a community of about 100. Sierra Madre has a few people. But these are classes, open children's virtues classes and middle school empowerment classes that are available free of charge to the community. Many of the members are not members of our community. This is open to everyone. But just since I know Sierra Madre, and we've lived long enough to know that everyone's very connected in this community, and the trick is to grow the capacity of young people to be of effect in their own community. No need to go across the world. There's plenty of need and opportunities for service in Sierra Madre. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Licata, L-I-C-A-T-A.
Thank you.
1730 El Vista Circle down the street. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. And I will, on the heels of, thank you for reading Deb's speech about the red flag laws, because I think that most people don't know really what they are, and so we should follow up with the chief and see if maybe at some point we do a presentation on them. So thank you about that. We'll move on now to the consent calendar. And Madam City Clerk.
We have, I think, 5. 1, 2, yes. We have 5 items on consent. Item 1A, adoption of resolution 19-45 of the City Council of the City of Sierra Madre approving certain demands. Item 1B, adoption of resolution 19-46 of the City Council of the City of Sierra Madre approving certain demands. Item 1C, adoption of resolution 19-47 of the City Council of the City of Sierra Madre approving certain demands. Item 1D, Treasurer's Report for the quarter ending March 31st, 2019. And item 1E, recommendation to approve change order number 1 to the 2019 water main replacement project construction contract in the amount of $226,850. And that concludes the consent items.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, I'll open up for public comment. And we'll bring it back. I have a motion. Any discussion before a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll move on to item number 2, which the first discussion item, the COPS grant. And, okay. It is a public hearing, so we will open up the public hearing.
Here comes the rescuer. It's called job security.
So good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Chuck Kumchumnan, Sergeant with the Sierra Madre Police Department. I'm here today to talk about the COPS Fund grant funding for fiscal year 2019 and 2020. As we all know, the COPS Fund must be used to support frontline police services and must supplement and not supplant existing police funding. Since we received this fund for many years in the past, we had a state funding of approximate amount of $100,000. The past few years, as it's gone by, and the funding has increased. As of last year, the funding just almost reached about $150,000 again. This year, we anticipate that the funding should be approximately about the same amount, was $150,000. As we look at this slide here, there are the 4 topics of the COPS funding that we're looking to achieve. One of them is going to be the ICI radio system. One is the LAPD supplemental officers. And the other one's going to be FAST, which is the acronym for Foothill Air Support Team, as well as FSET, which is the Foothill Special Enforcement Team. If you look at the prices on there, actually the amount on there would be total for the amount funding will be the $150,000. So the ICI system. The ICI system is a regional radio system that the police department frequently use right now. We've been using this system since 2003. This system helps provide our agency to talk to other agencies within the LA County in situations when it comes to events of earthquakes, fires, windstorms, and other natural disasters. An example may be just the Woolsey fire that just happened last year, where we had to send some of our officers from mutual aid assistance, and we were able to utilize the radio and then talk to other agencies and the sheriff's department in that area locally and talk to each other and pretty much communicate to assist them with traffic control and other evacuation support. And and with the ISIS system, the funds will go towards the payment of ICI and the annual subscriber cost to be on the countywide radio system. Next thing we'll talk about is the LAPD part-time officers. These experienced officers have been an integral part of our patrol operations since 2010. The officers have been an invaluable asset, providing professional, experienced officers with specialized skill sets, providing additional resources to our officers and community in the Sierra Madre. They also assist by supplementing patrol needs when our officers are on vacation, training, or when we have open positions. And these funds, the COPS fund will receive this year, will go towards the salaries associated with the supplemental officers. FAST program, which is a Foothill Air Support Team. This here is FAST is governed through a joint powers agreement. The costs are calculated by population and percentages, and the FAST is a contributor to our city with 11 communities within San Gabriel Valley. We're one of them, and I'll share an example. Actually, before I go through that, air support is a force multiplier of officers on the ground. The air support responds to all critical and high-risk incidents, and the air operations personnel respond to approximately 75 calls in the city of Sierra Madre. So while the helicopter's up in the air, the response time for a call for a helicopter is about 72 seconds. And with that, I'll share and highlight an incident that I was personally involved in earlier this year, where officers had received a call of a burglary in progress, where they sought a suspect in the backyard of a residence. When officers arrived there, I was one of the officers that arrived there. We immediately tried to set up containment, and the suspect ended up fleeing and hiding. And during that time, we were unable to catch the suspect. But because with the air support, I called it up the PD-1 to assist us while they're orbiting in the air above us. They were able to easily locate the suspect, who was actually hiding in the bushes. But every time we try to converge on him, he keeps jumping walls and running through and trying to hide himself in all these bushes. But ultimately, with the airship's assistance, they were able to tactically tell our ground units to secure a tighter perimeter, which ultimately we were able to arrest the individual. And with the funds that go towards that payment of Foothill Air Support System, air support, that'll help the annual police helicopter services in the community. Now, our department has been looking for an opportunity to develop our officers and to help members of our department and to benefit the community. Part of that, what we're looking at also with the COP funds, is we're looking into a regional task force, which is called FSET, or in this case, the Foothill Special Enforcement Team. Currently, they do serve communities of Glendora, Laverne, Monrovia, and Claremont. This regional tactical team is highly trained and they're well equipped. One of the advantages, or actually one of the goals, is what we want to do is send our officers to make this team, is that the benefit they gain from the advantage training and experience, they will help bring that back to our department, and they will pretty much share their knowledge with our staff, and the benefit for our department and the community as well. Part of the details of the Foothill Enforcement Special Team handles is they deal a lot with barricaded situations, barricaded suspects, hostage situations, high-risk search warrants, executive witness protection, and any events that requires any immediate resource of tactical personnel. Now, with the funding, we get this for the FSET, which pretty much costs will include for equipment, uniforms, training, and backfill a Sierra Madre Police Department officer to participate on the team. This concludes my presentation, and pretty much the staff, requesting the staff recommends that the City Council accept the grant funds and authorize the appropriations as expeditious detailed in this report, and I would be happy to answer any of the questions that City Council may have.
Thanks, and great job.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions?
Just you got me really curious. I thought that when we, if God forbid would be in a SWAT situation, we're not bringing the county in. We would be using this group.
The SCB, Special Enforcement Bureau, they use that. There's certain restrictions on certain provisions that when they come out, they will have to come out to. There has to be different on different scenarios they will have to come out to.
Mm-hmm.
If we have this FSET, because they're regionally and tactically within our community area or in our local St. Gabriel Valley, they will come on pretty much in all situations.
Okay.
So yes and no. Our current policy say yeah, we'll contact them, but it'll be easy and to get our FSET team guys out here because one, we all work together regionally and they can handle problem on any situation or level of any type of critical event. But for the county, for them to respond, you have to call them, tell them what kind of circumstances of the call they'll come out to, and their chain of command up there will just say, yeah, we're going to respond, or no, we will not respond. And pretty much by getting FSET, it'll be much better in order to get them to handle the situation.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Thank
I
you.
don't know. I don't either. Well, thank you very much. We'll open this up for public comment. Questions or comments? Okay. Bring it back. Any discussion?
I just think it's I think this FSET is a tremendous opportunity for our officers, and I hope that you guys appreciate it the same way that it enhances your own ability to serve the community. So I'm very excited about this. I just think this is great. It just keeps us safer if those situations arise, and I just think the additional training is just good for our officers anyway to make them more capable as well. So this is a really positive thing. So thank you.
Agreed.
Well said, Mayor Protem.
Agreed. Okay. I'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. And that approves unanimously. We'll move on to the last discussion item, and it is regarding our community gardens. And I think this is our Community Services Manager, Ms. Silva Barone, and I think Public Works Director Semino? No.
Ditched.
Okay.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. So tonight, staff brings before you a recommendation to suspend the Community Garden Program from October through December of 2019, allowing for areas to be cleaned, measured, and rebuilt, while having the staff implement new rules and regulations. We further recommend that the City Council also authorize the consideration of alternative locations for the Community Garden Program. So, in summary, the Community Garden Program started in 1990 and currently has 16 active participants plus 2 vacant plots for a total of 18 plots. We currently also have a waiting list with 17 interested individuals. Over the time, the city's management of the garden has become more informal and less structured, and so the current rules and regulations, which you have in your attachment as number 1, do not adequately manage the community garden as needed. The garden plots are no longer similar in size or shape due to the combination, the sharing or removal of plots since the program was started. In addition, the pathways between the areas have been reduced or removed entirely by participants, or the access itself has been impeded due to added walls or trellises or markers or what have you. Items have also been installed over the garden plots, limiting the garden spaces, for example, a greenhouse, over 2 additional plots. There's also an assortment of other items, including standing water, liquid fertilizer, there was water collected in bird bath or buckets, propane storage, and grill use. So as a result, staff would like to implement an enhanced application process, which we work closely on with our city attorney, and put in these new rules and regulations, which would be your attachment number 2, as well as a revocable license permit, which is your attachment number 3, while the community garden is being replotted by reinstalling those walkways and measuring the areas to ensure that the size and shape are actually similar. And again, to do this, staff is recommending that the garden be suspended. Any garden activity be suspended between October and December, which is this last quarter of the year, and therefore allowing Public Works to adequately complete the cleaning and the layout, while the Community Services Department actually implements the said rules and regulations and the revocable permit. Furthermore, staff would like council to again reconsider, take into mind other locations for the community garden program. And although we have not actually gone through any formal process of looking at other alternate locations at this time, but we would like a 3-month time frame there to allow us to do so, and then determine if in fact other locations are or would be more suitable for this use. So alternatives would be that the council may leave the current rules and regulations in place as they are now. Number 2, the council may allow the community garden to continue operation as is and not clean or measure or rebuild the garden plots. Or lastly, the council may decide to not consider alternative properties to relocate and host the community garden. And that concludes the report. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So right now, you don't have any prospective locations in mind that you've got me curious.
We do not. I'll pass that over to our city manager. He could share some of those ideas.
Councilmember Goss, we really want to look and see if in the center, the park in the center of our town, if the highest and best use is the community garden, which can have limited membership. The city has plots that it owns that may make sense to move the community garden to. After we look through it, we may find that it doesn't make sense. So just at any of the locations we own, from the Dutyman property to the lot behind the library to Goldberg Park, to any city-owned property, we would just do a due diligence process on it and see if it made sense or not.
Thank you.
I have a question. Have we notified the other 16 active participants? This was going to be on the city council agenda tonight.
We did not notify all 16, Councilmember Delmar. We've notified a handful of them as they came in, and we talked with them when they were in the garden. So they do know about it, but we didn't go through a formal like postcard notification.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, just maybe rather than, why would we, if there is a better location, then why would we even go through this process at this time to fix up the garden? Why don't we wait until we look to see if there's a better suitable location?
The impetus for replotting it, it's not a ton of work, but we've received a number of complaints about people having their plot access blocked. The pathways in between are not traversable. We also have some immediate issues out there that we need to remedy, including we have the installation of an oven over one plot, which people use. People routinely barbecue in the community garden, and I don't think that's a tenable situation to allow to continue. In addition to that, we had one of the community garden members verbally assault or intimidate one of our staff members, and the city attorney correctly informed me that under our current rules and regulations, we had very little ability to take any action.
Okay. That's a good question, though, because so if we find an alternative location, I guess it's going to take a little bit of time no matter what to move them. So in the interim, we want to. So was the oven was actually functional?
It's still functional, Mayor.
Wow.
It's out there right now.
It's amazing. I was surprised at how few active participants there were, as big as it is, 16. So thank you for the presentation. We'll open this up for public comment.
Good evening, Council. My name's Gary Hood, live in 465 North Baldwin, and I'd just like to comment that with the water situations and problems that we have, I mentioned it here to the council and to everyone else to maybe consider hydroponic gardening. It makes maximum use of the water. It's portable. You can move them around, and it might be a consideration for the garden committee to consider teaching and having kids and people at home starting their own hydroponic garden. Just a comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
D. Alcorn in Grandview. I was pleased to hear the city manager mention Goldberg Park. I think that's been less than a sterling use by the people. And I think that there's been a lot of discussion about that, and it's, to me, it's, well, I won't go on what I think about it. But I would suggest that if you do that, seriously consider using at least part of Goldberg Park for that, to have it be a useful facility. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll bring it back for discussion.
I'm good with the proposal.
Seems reasonable.
Sounds like it's needed.
Yeah, it does. I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to make a motion?
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, and this is for the staff proposal to reconfigure the program structure, or excuse me, the community garden, and then to consider alternative properties. Right?
And adopt the rules.
Yeah. And adopt the rules. Okay. So now that we're clear, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And that is the end of our formal agenda. I do have one item for a future agenda, and it would be the Clean Power Alliance city representative, that we, whenever you can, bring it to a future agenda. Any other future agenda items?
No, I just, the red law, red alert.
Thank you for the reminder. The red flag law, I think, is really important. I'm glad that Deb brought that forward, and again, thank you for reading that. We can just coordinate with the chief or a representative of the fire department, whoever, to, I think, just better inform us how we can utilize those laws, you know, not only here, but
Certainly, Mayor.
throughout the valley. Thank you. Anything else?
Move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, no objection. Meeting. Well, thank you.